I stared at my brother's text message, each word burning into my retinas like acid. Stay away from Dad's 60th birthday party. You're an embarrassment to the family. Don't make me call security. Classic Michael, always the devoted son protecting the Martinez family image. The country club would be filled with Detroit's elite tonight-os, investors, and socialites all gathering to celebrate my father's milestone birthday. Heaven forbid they discover that Anthony Martinez's eldest daughter wasn't the failure they all thought she was. My phone buzzed again. This time from my stepmother, Victoria. Your brother is right. Tonight is important for your father's business relationships. We can't have any disruptions. Disruptions. That's what they called my choice to leave the family business 5 years ago. I'd refused to join Martinez Automotive as an executive, turning down the cushy corner office and six-figure salary that came with my last name. Instead, I chose to build something of my own. They never bothered to ask what that something was. I glanced at the wall of my home office, where a Forbes magazine cover hung framed, 30 Under 30, How Sarah Chin Revolutionized Electric Vehicle Technology. The article detailed how an unknown startup called Nova Technologies had developed breakthrough battery systems that were reshaping the automotive industry. What the article didn't mention was that Sarah Chin was actually Sophia Martinez, working under my mother's maiden name. The quiet daughter who'd embarrassed the family by pursuing engineering instead of business administration had just become the industry's most sought-after innovator. And tonight at my father's birthday party, everyone would finally know. My phone rang. Nova's CEO David Parker. Everything's set for tonight. Harrison Investment Group is ready to announce the partnership. Are you sure you want to do it this way? I smiled, thinking of my father's face when he realized the mysterious CEO he'd been trying to meet for months was his own daughter. Yes. It's time they all knew. Their faces will be priceless, David chuckled. By the way, James Harrison specifically requested you be there for the announcement. Your father's been chasing this investment for months. Of course he had. Martinez Automotive was struggling to compete in the electric vehicle market. They needed Nova's technology, my technology, to survive. I slipped into a simple black dress, nothing like the flashy designer pieces Victoria and my half-sister Gabriella would be wearing. My mother's old pendant, a simple silver crescent moon, hung around my neck. She'd given it to me before she died, back when I was still the daughter my father was proud of. Follow your heart, Sophia, she'd said. Even if it leads you away from where everyone thinks you should go. The country club loomed ahead as my car pulled up to the valet station. Through the windows, I could see the party in full swing, crystal chandeliers casting warm light over Detroit's business royalty. A banner proclaimed, "Happy 60th birthday, Anthony," in elegant gold script. At the entrance, Michael's wife Emma was checking guests against the list. Her eyes widened when she saw me. "Sophia. You can't," Michael specifically said. "Good evening, Mrs. Martinez." I cut her off smoothly. "I believe you'll find I'm expected. James Harrison's office called ahead." She frantically checked her tablet. "Yes, here it is. Mr. Harrison specifically requested. But how did you?" I walked past her stuttering into the world I'd left behind. The same faces, the same forced laughs, the same game of who knows who that had suffocated me for years. Victoria held court near the bar, her diamonds catching the light as she gestured dramatically. Gabriella hung on the arm of some junior executive, giggling at everything he said. Michael spotted me first. His face darkened as he started toward me, purpose in every step. "What part of stay away didn't you understand?" "Hello to you too, brother," I said calmly. "Lovely party." "Security will be here in 2 minutes, he hissed. "Don't make a scene." "Actually, I checked my watch. I believe Mr. Harrison will be here in 1 minute. And he's specifically asked for me to be present." Michael's face twisted in confusion. "Harrison? What could James Harrison possibly want with you?" Right on cue, the room's energy shifted. James Harrison had arrived. James Harrison's entrance silenced the room. At 65, he commanded attention not through volume or stature, but through sheer presence. His investment firm controlled billions, and tonight, everyone knew he was announcing a major partnership with someone in the room. My father rushed forward, hand extended. "James. So glad you could make it." "Anthony," Harrison smiled, shaking his hand. "Quite a turnout. Though I'm really here to finally meet your His eyes scanned the room, landing on me. Ah, there she is. The silence turned heavy as Harrison walked straight past my father, approaching me with his hand extended. Miss Chen. Or should I say Ms. Martinez? It's wonderful to finally meet you in person. You could have heard a champagne bubble pop in the silence that followed. My father's face went from confused to shocked to ashen in the span of seconds. Michael's mouth hung open, his security threat forgotten. I don't understand, my father managed. You know Sophia? Harrison's eyes twinkled. Know her? Anthony, your daughter is the most brilliant innovator in the industry. Though, he glanced around the stunned room, I'm gathering from everyone's reactions that they didn't know Sarah Chin and Sophia Martinez were the same person. Victoria's champagne glass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the marble floor. The sound seemed to break the spell of silence. Impossible, Michael stepped forward. Sophia's been doing nothing since she left the company. She's been building Nova Technologies. I finished for him. That nothing you mentioned? It's now worth $4.2 billion. My father gripped a nearby chair for support. Nova? The battery technology everyone's been. That's right, Dad. I smiled, feeling years of dismissal and disappointment finally lifting from my shoulders. That mysterious CEO you've been trying to meet? The one whose technology could save Martinez Automotive? You raced her. Harrison cleared his throat. Speaking of which, shall we make the announcement now? Wait, my father held up a hand. What announcement? Harrison Investment Group's partnership with Nova Technologies. I said clearly, watching their faces. We're acquiring a controlling interest in Martinez Automotive. The room erupted in whispers. Michael's face turned purple. You can't do this. Actually, Harrison interjected, we can and we are. Nova's battery technology is revolutionary. Every major manufacturer wants it. But Ms. Martinez here insisted on offering her family's company first right of refusal. Victoria pushed forward. Anthony, you can't let her take control. She'll destroy everything we've built. Everything you built? I laughed softly. You mean the company that's losing market share every quarter? The one that's 3/4 away from bankruptcy because you refuse to invest in electric vehicle technology? That company. My father's business mask cracked completely. Sophia, please. We can talk about this. Now you want to talk? I moved closer, lowering my voice. 5 years ago, when I tried to tell you about electric being the future, you told me to stop playing engineer and learn real business. When I brought you my initial designs, Michael called them cute drawings. When I left to start my own company, Victoria said I was abandoning my responsibilities. Harrison watched with interest as years of family dynamics unfolded before him. The time for talking was then, I continued. Now is the time for saving what's left of Martinez Automotive. You need my technology and I'm offering it. The only question is whether you're willing to accept that your biggest embarrassment is now your only hope. Gabriella, who had been unusually quiet, suddenly spoke up. But, all those times we invited you to family events and you said you were too busy. I was. Building a company takes time. But you never asked what I was building, did you? Too busy assuming I was failing to consider I might be succeeding. Harrison pulled out a folder. The papers are ready, Anthony. Nova Technologies will acquire a 60% stake in Martinez Automotive. Sophia will take over as CEO, implementing her electric vehicle strategy across all product lines. And if I refuse? My father's voice was barely a whisper. Then we'll take our technology to your competitors, I said simply. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to have it. Michael grabbed our father's arm. Dad, you can't seriously consider. Be quiet, Michael, our father snapped, surprising everyone. He really looked at me for the first time in years. The battery technology, it's really yours. I nodded, pulling out my phone and pulling up Nova's patents. Every design, every innovation. While you were all pitying my failure, I was revolutionizing the industry. He studied the designs and I saw the moment he understood, not just the technology but everything he'd missed. His eyes filled with tears. Sophia. Save it, I said but gently. We can talk about the past later. Right now we need to save your company. Are you ready to listen to your embarrassment of a daughter? Harrison held out a pen. The room held its breath. With hands that shook slightly, my father took it. As he signed the papers, I heard Victoria's sharp intake of breath, saw Michael's fists clench at his sides. But none of that mattered anymore. "Ladies and gentlemen," Harrison announced to the room, "please join me in congratulating the new CEO of Martinez Nova Technologies, Miss Sofia Martinez." The applause was scattered, uncertain. My father stood beside me looking shell-shocked. Michael stormed out, pulling Emma with him. Victoria's perfect makeup couldn't hide her fury. But there, hanging around my neck, my mother's pendant seemed to glow a little brighter. I'd followed my heart just like she'd said. It had led me right back here, not as the dutiful daughter they'd wanted, but as the powerful woman I'd become. Later that night, as the party wound down, my father found me on the terrace. "That night you left," he said quietly, "you tried to show me your designs. I wouldn't even look at them." "No, you wouldn't. I was wrong. About everything." He turned to face me. "Can you ever forgive me?" I touched my mother's pendant, thinking of choices and consequences, pride and redemption. "That depends, Dad. Are you ready to learn from your daughter?" He nodded, humbled at last. "Teach me. Sometimes the greatest revenge isn't proving others wrong, it's proving yourself right. And sometimes, just sometimes, it comes with the chance to rebuild what was broken, but on your own terms." The next morning, as I walked into Martinez Automotive, now Martinez Nova Technologies as CEO, I passed the company's motto mounted on the wall: "Driving tomorrow's future." By next week, it would be changed to something more fitting: "Innovation runs in the family." Michael's office was already empty. Victoria's designer decorations were gone. But on my new desk sat a small package. Inside was my mother's old engineering textbook, bookmarked to a page where she'd written in the margin, "For Sophia, who will change the world her own way." And I had. Just not the way anyone had expected.